very joyous celebration of the centenarian Professor Nurjehan Abdul Qadir, our endearing principal during 1985-86, but was there since the inception of the college from 1948 to 1990. A gifted orator, scholar, who lived to our college emblem. This is the emblem that she has created. She would live through the emblem she designed. And the inscription of the motto within contains the contents of it will be a gold star for all the Ethiraj who have gone through the portals of the college. That is still my motto. As she took over the principalship, she called herself Ek Dinke Sultan. She was very fond of that word, Ek Dinke Sultan. And under that Sultan, I was the staff council secretary of the family. We have all been witness to the bounties of that sultanate from her father insulting the nuances of the language, English language and literature for 3 decades and more through unforgettable dramatization and exemplary delivery of our lectures. And spreading camaraderie beyond the bounds of the department to the lineup, the long lineup of the faculty, as well as the entire gamut of the supporting staff. And beyond the tenure, there is a great size the fraternity that is today. Ethiraj College Fraternity Club, nearing its silver jubilee, the poet here in a very great manner, Madam. Thank you, Mrs. Carter. That which comes uppermost in my mind is a beaming smile and spontaneous humor and a proud stance when she receives the A. Mudaliar Trophy for sports after a long gap of 18 years. And for a long time afterwards also we have been listening. I vowed to her on a centenary virtually and memorialize her, dear Mrs. Carter, through the Ethiraj College fraternity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. As madam said, Mrs. Nurjehan Abdul Qadir started fraternity in the year 1992, 24th December. 33 years rolled down and we are celebrating fraternity. Every year at least twice we are meeting together and we really have the opportunity to get the permission from the chairman and the galaxy of principals in Ethiraj College. Because of their permission today, we are celebrating this centenary celebration also. Thank you very much for the management. Now I call upon Chairman THIRU MURALIDHARAN to address the audience.
First of all, let me thank all of you here, almost everybody except probably the principal and the doctors. Everybody is elder to us. Everybody is possibly have been a staff member in the college. I can see the famous alumna, Anita Ratnam here. Thanks a lot for coming over here. I think definitely she will be proud to see you sitting here. And, I want to thank everybody because I always feel, even otherwise, when the retired staff fraternity, people come for any event, anything. That's the best thing. I think uh, the founder laid the foundation, so to say, but people like uh, Dr. Nurjehan Abdul Qadir, virtually I think that from day one, I think they are working part of the foundation stone. And all of you have assembled those next bricks, brick by brick. And it's nice to be the chairman of a 8,000 student college today, but it's not the 10th floor alone separately. It is from the foundation, the grounds, first, second, third, and all that, and it's the creation that all of you have created. And in that context, I believe that fraternity has played a major role. And to celebrate the life of a person like Madam Nurjehan Abdul Qadir is a moment to reflect on all these things. In fact, we have certainly Dr. Yashoda, who's again a person who's been one of the judges to the crown of Ethiraj College, Vice Chancellor after a tenure in principal. These are all moments which we always think back to say that, okay, like student alumni did well or faculty alumni doing very well, is also a great moment. And even now I find so many people who have finished their tenure as a faculty or a HOD or a principal, they go out and they are still standing tall in whatever they're doing. And that is what makes us feel more proud. And not only that, that makes us understand our responsibilities. Whatever you people have done is what we are carrying forward. And in that context, yes, as I told Dr. Yashoda, she's been like the Pitamaha for the fraternity team. And the energy that she has got at a very young age of 90, I think I wish I had it now. I think sometimes I find it very difficult. And of course, when this came about and our principal, Dr. Umagori, said that this is what we're going to do. And I mean, any fraternity thing, it's a green channel. So it's not that I need to sell anything, but when she told that, okay, this is what we're going to do, I was very happy. And such occasions also, I think somewhere instill some type of a vibrance in the institution. Even when we may not do it, we may not tell people. When students see what's happening, there are people walking in. Who are they? They're all our retired faculty. Why are they coming for an occasion like this? They should know how we value our elders. That is most important. We should walk the talk. There's no point saying you go and respect your elders. If we respect elders, I think they will know this is something which we should do. In fact, I don't miss an. In fact, anytime, even in any conference, I don't miss out mentioning because students should know that that is a very important value that we should all carry. And Mr. Manikam, I was just talking to him. He might not remember, when I was the 87, 88, I have met him in his office in Racecourse Road in Coimbatore. I was just setting up a small operation for Wipro in Coimbatore. And Kalpana also knows his wife. She remembers her very well. She knew her, I think, prior to the wedding, marriage itself, I think. So, and more importantly, his father, who was a chairman of this institution, and I have studied in College of Engineering, Guindy. Both of us come from the same college. And in the whole list of chairmen, we are the only two people from Guindy. And Guindy is close to heart. So I think that's another connection. So thank you very much for making time and coming here. It shows your respect for Dr. Qadir, and that's something which not only me, all of us value that. Thank you very much for being here. And of course, sir, thank you very much for being here. And I also see Sabita. I didn't realize that she had taught here. I always saw her as I studied also. Okay. You have double on me. Okay. Because we have some common friends. Okay. So, and definitely, I think you both, Tasin and the Kutia. இல்ல அவங்க ஏதோ சொன்னாங்களே.
Tasin and Tasneem.
யாரு குட்டி? Okay.
Tasneem is
Okay. No. I'll tell you more than anything else. When these are moments when she was saying, what I could realize is these are the moments when we feel we are all a family. That brings us closer and we understand how we all grew up. I think we don't forget those joyous moments. So in that context, I should say that I was just thinking it's about what 48 to 86. So 38 years in the institution that she served. It's no, I mean, many of you have always done a 3-decade. It's like here everybody is a Bradman. Everybody only triple century, 3 decades. And somebody's done 38 years. So I think we should remember and thank such people and celebrate such lovely lives that they led. And not just they led, they made everybody's life so good with so many students whom they have inspired with. And I can see at least some alumni here, you included, Sanitha Ratnam, and I do know some of your cousins like Sangeeta. We work together in HC. So I know the family very well. So I think it's just that we are here not to just say 100 years, fantastic, but thank such souls and believe that, okay, our responsibility is to take that mission much further with more responsibility and probably achieve higher accolades through our alumni. And I also want all the faculty members here, that's what we talk to our faculty members, they should also blossom the way all of you did. And like students we say, but I always feel faculty are also equally or more important, because students spend 3 years, faculty spend 30 years. So if they are happy, we are happy. So I just wanted to, because I have not interacted with her, but I could just understand from all of you, I think she would be one more on the block from same chip. So fantastic. Thank you very much. May God bless. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. As sir has to leave.
No, I did say I have to leave at 3.
கீழே இருங்கண்ணா சார். எப்படி பார்க்குங்க? Yes, ma'am. Yes, I'll just.
பேசிட்டு 5 minutes
A very good afternoon to one and all here. It's really a privilege to stand before you and present the life of my mother through the years, in college, at home, etc. And it's so wonderful to see everybody. There's so many names here. I don't know where to start and where to end. Everyone who's been closely associated with Mummy. And it's a great privilege for me and my sister to be invited by the fraternity to be here and to share what Mummy meant to the college and what Mummy meant to us and what Mummy meant to the friends around her students and her colleagues and everybody else. So this is where her journey began. She was born to Syed Abdul Ghaffur Shah, and she was one of 12 siblings, right? So 12 siblings, and he was the district officer of the education department of then Madras. So that's where her roots began, and that's how she got into it. And all her 12 siblings, I think 50% of them may have been principals of various institutions and doctors, and everyone was in the education field, right? So this is where it began. And she studied at the Presidency College and then went on. She had a little small stint of a job before she entered the portals of Ethiraj at the American College, Madurai. So she was there for a little while. My cousin here is shaking his head, vouching for it. He's my mother's sister's son, right? They were in Madurai, so very familiar to him, right? The beauty that she was, I think there was competition between all her sisters. There were 6 sisters and 6 brothers. That's the combination of her family, and each one as pretty and beautiful as the other. Her dad, as I said, was her idol. In those days, education of Muslim women was right behind. Hardly the Muslim women were not educated. Their job was to be home. But he educated every single one of them. He was her idol. They did a lot of travel during her school days, traveled across Kerala, being district officer in education, had a lot of visits to do. So that's how her story began. That was her dad. And of course, wedding bells after she joined Ethiraj College. She joined Ethiraj College as the maiden in the year 1949. And she met this handsome lad who was working with the British in those days, and got married to him in 1953. But she still continued her, her stint at the Ethiraj because that was her passion. These were early years in college life. So I'm sure many of you, Yashoda ma'am and the rest here, would identify who all of this is. There's Mrs. Vasanti Devi there, very early years of college. And some of them here, Mrs. George is there, and Mummy is there, but I don't recognize many of them here. Maybe Yashoda ma'am knows who they are, or Vasanta ma'am or Kanti ma'am probably would know who the rest of them are. But these were her early years in college. Lots of early professors in the, early 50s, as soon as she joined, and her lovely days at Ethiraj then. Of course, here we go. I can hear everybody, see everyone pointing and relating to this. Mrs. Eva Matthew is there, and Mrs. Anna George, Mrs. Vasanti Devi, stalwarts in the Ethiraj College. And in that very corner, we have Dr. Kausalya Murthy. I don't know how many of us remember. Well, the doctor, yeah, sir remembers. Oh, she handled your birth, wonderful. Her birth too. Her birth, mine, everybody, all of us, yeah. So that's a very old picture. I think there's Mrs. Chandar at the back. Though few of you can relate to her, she's also there. Well, this was a very... And here is, how can we be without the college union? Well, this was the student union during Mrs. Eva Matthews' time. Miss Eva Matthews' time, sorry, beg your pardon, here. And that's it, we can see Haima there. I only recognize Haima there. P.C. Ramakrishna's wife is there, Haima, but the rest I vague memories of the students out there. Yes? And here it is. Again, student union, but in a different era. Mrs. Vasanti Devi, and it's also there with many of the staff members here. We've got the union, the student union. Well, I happen to be part of this union, so I'm there in this picture. May not recognize me. Well, it was there. Yeah, so this is a lot of the staff members with the student union. We played a great integral role in the college as well, and we were given the freedom by Mrs. George, Mrs. Matthew, Ms. Vasanti Devi, and everybody who came along. So our voices were heard, right, in the college. Well, some of her very fond students who visited her every year till she passed away. This is Mrs. Sushila Padmanabhan. Well, one of her early students and a dear, dear student to her who would never miss her birthday. I don't think there's one birthday of Mummy that she's ever missed, even after retirement till her death. So such was the bond between, and I think different departments might recognize these two. These were called the Sheshadri sisters. There were four of them. P.M. Lakshmi from chemistry department. We have Sudha who was there, later became Sudha Vardarajan, right? These were the four sisters, quite famous in that period, in that era from 49 till about 60. So they all studied in that period, right? And yeah, and she had such fondness for her students, you know. So she used to attend all the functions of the students as well. Well, here we go on to, she moved on then into her family life. And my brother, my elder brother, was born in the year 1956. So till then she was here with college. Even then she continued. Baby was born and his name was Ethiraj and he was Mr. Manikam's classmate from childhood. So they've grown up together and that was my brother. And for Mummy, all the birthdays and celebrations simply she used to enjoy. Right? She used to enjoy all the celebrations. And who were the guests at home? Ethiraj College. It was work, it was home, it was celebration. Everything was Ethiraj College for Mummy. So you can see here, this is my brother's first birthday. All the college is there. We can see Mrs. Lakshmi Kuti, Menon, yeah, Mrs. Arjun, Anna George, Mrs. Thomas, Saraswati ma'am, Ratna ma'am, Subhadra ma'am. I don't know some of the names. I still don't know, but I'm sure everybody here is recollecting the staff. And that's me. That's us. My birthday. So every birthday was celebrated with family and Ethiraj College. That's all it was for her. It was a family and it was Ethiraj College. Well, and every birthday was drama time. As you all remember, her as a drama queen. She was known as the drama queen of college. So we had to dress up. We were all dressed up at this was at Tasneem's birthday. So there's Queen of Hearts and there's Robin Hood and everything from literature came alive at home on every birthday. Such was her passion for that. Sorry. And that was my sister Kutti, right? Kutti's birthday. So we had all birthdays coming along, celebrated. Family and cake there and the cake here. Big difference. There again, eating time with Ethiraj staff again. You can see them all there. So we couldn't find a picture of us celebrating our birthday with friends of ours or parents of friends like the kids have now. It was only Ethiraj College for her. All the staff at every meal. Yes, I can see everyone trying to identify who's there. Well, that's the meal at home. I used to see Anita Ratnam come home very often, right? For, of course, a little later, not earlier than that. And I used to meet her, though she was my senior. I really didn't study when she was in college, but I got to know her very, very well because of her visits to Mummy and, further. Yeah, so celebration time was wonderful at home. Always with family or with her extended family. Ethiraj College. Yeah. Well, sports day. Her passion was sports. She was a volleyball player of the state in her days. So sports was of great interest to her. That's how she tried egging us on. My sister stopped with shot putting, right? But only I could move on. Well, I represented Ethiraj College, Madras University, and Tamil Nadu State in my college days. So that was her interest. And this was I would say, one of the earliest sports days. Look at the uniform of the girls there, right? So this was, I think, very, very early days. The British influence was still around. So there you can see her, see the girls dressed that way. And here, of course, she was also, I think they had staff contests and staff something. So she was receiving something on sports because she herself participated. Well, a little picture of the tennis court. She always longed for the upliftment of this tennis court. And she set her mind to that. I think Anita might remember that. Yes, because she was a tennis player as well. So this happened in her time. Her eyes were all on refurbishing that tennis court. So she got that done. So I thought that was an important thing because it was always playing on her mind. And of course, the move to Rajaratnam Stadium. We always had these little sports days in college. And even at home, I used to tell her, what is this? All my friends in Stella and all have big sports days and all. And then you're having it in college. Maybe that was also a little bit of a push. But she was so determined. And it was in her reign that we moved the college sports to Rajaratnam Stadium. That was the first time. And this was Mr. V.R. Lakshmi Narayan, IPS, who was the chief guest at the Rajaratnam Stadium. Of course, sports days and independence days. Ethiraj had this, I don't know if it still exists, but we always had the tradition of the professors bringing their children for every event in the college to participate. Well, my little sister was Humpty Dumpty, who sat on the wall and had to fall down. And she still am, she says. She's adding, saying she still am. Well, so we all participated in everything. Of course, she was... Yeah. So this was her with our founder. Same thing, continues. She came in to give trophies. I don't know what it was, a sports day or an annual day. But yes, she was the guest at the college. Yes? Any guesses? Yes? I can hear. V.T. Rangaswamy, also the chairman of Ethiraj College and the vice chancellor of the Madras University as well at that time. So while he was here, I don't know what award she's getting. We don't remember, and I think nobody. I asked Dr. Yashoda, ma'am, would you remember what she got? Well, chairman. Okay. Yes. Here it is with Rajagopalachari, right, who was here at the college with Mrs. Hensman and Mrs. Vasanthi Devi and our founder as well, Dr. V.L. Ethiraj. So we have all of them there at that point of time. We had great dignitaries in our college. And Lakshmanaswamy Mudaliyar, who was also there at some other event of the college. Surbdeep Singh Barnala. I think the college received an award from him, and Mummy was out there receiving that award from the governor of Madras or Chennai. I don't know if it was changed already. Well, this is 90th year celebration of Mrs. Hensman. It was her birthday. It was Mrs. Hensman's birthday. You can see her there up on stage. We can see Dr. Yashoda and Miss Eva Matthew and Mrs. Hussain is a bit there also in the picture. And behind we have Mrs. Sarla Raj Tilakam. Yeah, English department is connecting with all of them. Right, this was a little later. Yes, where I think Silver Jubilee celebrations of the college, and with some of her friends. Here we have Mrs. Lalita, I think, who's here today. Yes, ma'am is also there, Mrs. Chandar, and there's a flag hoisting. Closer friends again. Yes, Mrs. Lionel, Bhamini, Mrs. Maliti, all stalwarts from Ethiraj. I just thought that we should remember whatever we could gather, whatever pictures we could get. Right? Then came the fraternity. This was Mrs. Khadar's or my mother's brainchild. She felt that the retired staff have nowhere to go. Right? How do they meet up? How do they catch up? Age catches up on them. How do we get together? Well, she inaugurated the fraternity club, which is celebrating her centenary today. So we have the lighting of the lamp. Mrs. Basanti Devi also played a very crucial role at that time. We have ma'am here, who is the president of the fraternity, Dr. Yashoda. They are both lighting the lamp. Well, her second home. This is her second home, right? The English department. So we have all of them, I think, in this frame at that point of time. I think almost everyone can relate to this picture with the background of the English department. So everyone's locating themselves in the picture. This was her second home, right? And the drama and the theatre and everything. Well, I guess she struck a chord with Anita for that. With the dramatic side and the theatre and the drama. Her classrooms, we were told, were more stages. Okay, so that's her second home, her department. Well, she did a lot for Muslim women as well. She was very active in the upliftment of Muslim women. So the Muslim Women's Association, MWA, played an important role in her life. And to say that she had quite a glamorous life there. Also, she was secretary and correspondent, yes, but also brought in a lot of the stars around. And unfortunately, we had a lot of pictures of those. So I've shared a few. Well, here with the illustrious Dilip Kumar. Well, she was at close quarters, managed to invite him to kind of motivate or, the Muslim women out there. Yes? Rajendra Kumar, yes, that was Rajendra Kumar in those days, having, came into the Muslim Women's Association on her invitation. And of course, her love for sports will never end anywhere. She wanted the boxer also to come there to the school. So she got in Muhammad Ali, the boxer, also to school, So as sports was her passion. Coming to her hobbies, photography. I think many will agree with that. She gave great competition to Mr. Nath. And she would fondly call Mr. Nath Kottamali Nath. Guess? Anyone wants to guess? Any of the English staff want to guess why? Because of his tuft of hair. Whether it was the houseboats of Kashmir or Delhi or the Taj Mahal, Qutub Minar, whichever it may be, these were trips and her pictures. Satanur Dam, I remember this trip of hers, it's to Satanur Dam. And of course, her stint at drama. She and Mrs. George was the pair in college, you know, enacting all the plays and their own plays as well, right? So here we have her, there, Mummy is there, Mrs. George is there. I don't know who the others are. Maybe some of the English department might relate to them. There she is, Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. We have Mrs. George and Mrs. Qadir there on stage at the Ethiraj College. All this was in the college auditorium, right? Taking place in college. The staff were, I think, very vibrant, always wanting to take part in such things like these. Yes, we have Mrs. Hussain also there, enacting on stage. I don't know who the tall staff is, ma'am. Any inputs on that? Yashoda ma'am might know, I don't know. But anyway, she's in action here, and that's her love for theatre. Again, these are all staffs. I believe the 40 Thieves were all the English department staff. This is what I'm told. Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, the 40 Thieves were staff from the English department. And ma'am has already mentioned that her interest in art, right? So this college logo, we are so proud to say, was designed by Mrs. Qadir. And it runs in even today. Well, we would have shared some sketches. We did have them, but we lost them in the flood, as it was with Tasneem, and there was a lot of things that got missed out in the flood. So the sketches we saw, you know, at home, drawing out the ladder separately and this separately and all that was at home. So this was her brainchild. And she did use the motto of the college is used in one of the poems that she wrote on our founder, V.L. Ethiraj. It was titled Silver Memories. Well, it came out again. She wrote it much earlier, but it was brought out when Mrs. Indira Gandhi visited the college. I think Anita was there at that time, in that year, I think, 73. So that was when it was brought out. This is the poem. I have read it out to you. It's quite long. I mean, I'm just cutting short because you find this motto of the college embedded in this poem also. To strive, to seek, to find, and not to leave. Right? Of course, children all grown up now. Manikam can identify himself, I'm sure, in this picture. Well, these are all of us grown up, little Kuti grown up, and with friends, and this is again later years with family. Okay, so that brings me to the end of this presentation. And, you know, of course, this presentation cannot end without credits, right? Any presentation or a movie ends with credits. So there's credits to be given to all those who helped in putting this together. Mrs. Yashoda, for one first. A lot of pictures I got, a lot of input from them. And the brainchild behind all this, Mrs. Sita Udupa. So sad that she's not here, but she's been the energetic person behind us and giving a lot of collecting pictures. Mrs. Vasanta is here. I think Mrs. Kanti sent some pictures. Forgive me if I'm missing out on. No, that we have to have. Few of them, yes, but many came from there, right? We, of course, are expected to have. So. All right. So that's credits to all those who helped us with this. And just to conclude, she led with wisdom, taught with grace, and inspired generations. A beautiful soul, a brilliant mind, an enduring legacy. Age cannot wither her, nor custom stain her infinite variety. Her favorite, William Shakespeare, right? And her classrooms were just a stage, right? With all, yes, ma'am.
1960 student.
Oh, ma'am is a 1960 student, now in the fraternity. Okay, wonderful. That's really nice. So thank you all for being a part of her journey. Thank you very much. There's lots more to cover, but try to put everything in a nutshell, a little journey through the college. Thank you all. Thank you, sir. And thank you.
Ma'am and everyone. Oops, my papers went down. Yeah, I'll take some. Yeah. Come on. Paper. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kasi. Thank you very much for the PowerPoint presentation. We really enjoyed the PowerPoint presentation. And I was astonished by seeing all those photos in one thing. After several years, today we say that we have become very modern in our blouse, sari. If you see the photos of Mrs. Nurjehan Abdul Qadir, see the wonderful design of blouses, the saris. It was really amazing. 50, 60 years before me, really, it is really. I'm admiring it. One day I'm a little bit jealous, because we are very far away from her style. So it is really good. We really enjoy and hope all the English department would have enjoyed more than us. Thank you very much, Kasi. Now we have the cake cutting function. We have 2 cakes. One cake, the baker is here. Tasneem, she has baked the cake for her mother. And this is the cake. You see in memoriam centenary celebration of Mrs. Nurjehan Abdul Qadir, former principal of Ethiraj College. It's a form. Then Othello, this is Shakespeare drama, and Hamlet, I don't know how to pronounce, and Macbeth. And then so the cake cutting now it will take place. And one more cake has been sponsored by her very close friend, Mrs. Hussain, from the physics department, and she is unable to come because of her health issues. So both the cakes today we will cut, and let us enjoy the cake in the tea time, not now. Okay. Just take the photographs, sir, I request you to come and start the cake cutting, sir. Sir, madam, daughters, Asi, Jasmine,
My sisters, my coach.
and we also want the television department to join. Come, Hasan Khan, Karthik Khan, Amravati ma'am, Nirmala, please come and join. Please come and join the English department. And even the guest, Adita Ratnam is here. J.T. Ramanujan is here. Please come. Savita is here. Please join for the cake cutting.
Sheila ma'am had composed a song on Mrs. Khana, and this is the chorus, and it's going to be sung to the tune of "Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling, Centenary." So the chorus goes like that. So the rest of it, Sheila ma'am is going to sing.
Okay.
We are all going to join her in the chorus.
Okay, she's come.
Okay? Mike, go there. Mike. Don't let me do it.
Hello ladies. This is not a song that I composed now. It is a song that I composed at her retirement. I found that scrap of paper, you can see it's not here. So when Sita Udupa told me please look for photographs and things.
Madam, sing, madam.
Mrs. Carter, true to her, Nurjehan has in the past year, she was a short, spread sweet, light and sweet, that's all around. She often drove us to peals of laughter with her jokes, naughty ones too. Ease the tension, lightened our burden, and made us feel like a family. Mrs. Carter, come on, the hall should resound with her name. Mrs. Carter, true to her name, Nurjehan has in the past year, alas a short year, spread light and sweetness all around. She was bold and enterprising, taking steps to benefit all, cutting red tape, smoothing rough cuts, tackling problems efficiently. Mrs. Qadir, true to her name, Nurjehan, as in the past year, alas a short year, spread light and sweetness all around. We have seen how she wove the rainbow on the sports day of 85, her innovative zeal displaying, taking Ethiraj one step higher. Mrs. Qadir, true to her name, Nurjehan, as in the past year, alas a short year, spread light and sweetness all around. Now that she has earned her respite, we do wish her all the best. Health and happiness, peace and comfort be with her forevermore. Mrs. Qadir, true to her name, Nurjehan, has in the past year, alas a short year, spread light and sweetness all around.
We all have a piece of this cake, right, Divya? Okay, we will continue now.
Ranjitana.
The college management has ID card has been prepared by the college. I request the chairman to hand over the ID card to me or the principal so that we will distribute it later.
The ID cards for all the faculty members will be handed over.
I request Qasim to introduce to Manikam.
Yeah, we have Manikam who has come all the way from Coimbatore. I don't know if everybody knows him. Well, he, to me, is a childhood friend. He was a classmate of my brother. But later on, only we went on to know that his father was the chairman of the college, Dr. M. Mahalingham's son. That's Manikam. So, I know him as my childhood friend. So that connection goes back to those days when we used to play Kunda and all that at home. Well, after that, we get reconnected
I mean, we didn't lose connect, but we connected. And Manik's wife, Gauri, was also from Ethiraj College. So she also studied here in the Ethiraj College. So Manik, would like you to say a few words.
One thing, Kasim Mr. My wife studied in the English department. I'm very happy here to be in this function and to remember Mrs. Qadir years. She's been not really a professor or a teacher for me. She was the mother of my friend. So we used to walk into their house neatly. So we used to have all the food and we were all single family. So both Tassin and Tasneem are my lucky sisters. So we are very happy that we here.
Well, Anita Ratnam, lined up a lot of activities, but still didn't find time to come because Mommy, Mrs. Qadir, was really, really so fond of her. And, as I already mentioned, my association with her began when she used to come to visit my mother at home. Even though she was retired, we still had Anita coming over. And that's when we became good friends because I was not in the college when she was. The only other time I saw Anita she was scrutinizing me when I was walking the ramp for Miss Ethiraj, and she was one of the judges. So that picture is still there in my mind of Anita looking me up and down as I was walking, And Meera, my friend, is also here. We all did this show together where she was one of the judges here at the college. Yeah, so Anita, I would like you to say a few words. You can use the podium if you so wish.
Stand here, otherwise I'm tall enough. Yeah, I feel better like this. Is it all right? Thank you. First, it's lovely to be back in college. I don't recognize the buildings. There was now so many buildings now. There were less buildings. I remember the Ratfata tennis court right in the center. And like Mrs. Qadir, I also used to complain, being a tennis player. I represented college and then the university. That the tennis court was so uneven. But we're here to mark the 100th year of Mrs. Qadir. Even though her name is Nurjehan, we only knew all our professors as Mrs. Qadir, Mrs. George, and Miss Matthew. Yeah, and she was one person, and of course Miss Benjamin, sports department. How can you forget Miss Benjamin? So I remember that I grew up in a family where sports and education were both equally, lots of importance, and of course the arts. So my mother would always say that in the arts, in music and dance, you get very self-obsessed. You worry about how you look or what somebody else says about you. But in sports, it teaches you about life because it teaches you how to win and lose. Because you can't win all the time. So in college when I came, and I applied very late, there's a big long story, I couldn't get pre-university in the English department. So I went to zoology and botany. My God, that 1 year, how many frogs I cut I don't remember. But I could not wait to get out of science because science and math were just not part of my brain. I was a humanities person. I loved the language. I loved languages. So there was English, there was Tamil, there was Sanskrit, there was French. But English came alive to me because of Mrs. Qadir. She gave me that window that opened and gave me actually the freedom to imagine how language can communicate. Now, even in school, I was very active in the drama department. I was participating in all the plays and all that. I was in presentation hall in Church Park with excellent teachers. But in college, I think I really came into my own, both in the English department and on the sports field. And Mrs. Qadir was one person who, while going and coming to class, or whichever class or back to the department, she would stop and watch us practicing. It was called netball, not basketball then. Netball, and I was a help shoot. So she would stop and watch and applaud and then walk on. And I remember all the annual dramas that she and Mrs. George, and the beautiful thing about Mrs. Kadir was she would come into class, and she was not HOD at that time when I was studying. Mrs. George was HOD at that time. She would come into class and she would make Shakespeare come alive for us because she knew voice modulation. And she would read these soliloquies and she would read the text in different tonal registers. So she would make the text come alive, not a dry text of, just this whatever Shakespeare wrote in all the meters that he did. And so she made this come alive and she always encouraged us to read. Go back and read. She'd come back and say, what have you read? What books have you read? She'd make us, did you go to the library? So she was always there giving us to say, life is always that question mark. You have to find the answers. She was somebody who really worked, not just with me, I think, but with some students who she saw a spark in, and she wanted to see them become well-rounded young women beyond the classroom. And I was just thinking, she was so impeccably dressed. Okay, that sari pleated so beautifully, blouse, not a hair out of place, the hair so beautifully dressed and so well presented. And so particular about punctuation marks and proper grammar. I was thinking, what would she have thought about today's young generation on social media? Everything is short form, and YOU has become U, and so many things like LMAO and ROFL, and of course, now with all the identity politics to call individual by plural, it would have just confounded her. It would have really confounded her. Because we have a whole new language. Can you imagine that the Oxford English Dictionary has now accepted the word IO? Yes. IO is now a word. So how language has changed. But language, through her, through Mrs. Kadir, became a beautiful means of not just communicating, but to discover the potential within ourselves. Because that was what she sparked in me. And I think she took immense pride in everything I did. The dance or the school dramas or even outside, in the way I wrote. And my mother was very fond of her. My mother, Leela, was very fond of her. And I think that also helped because as students, it's also important to the environment we are at home as well as in college. So I remember one incident I'll tell you. I lost the student elections for president of the student union. And I was one of the two candidates, do you remember that? Right? I was so crestfallen. I was so upset. Mrs. Kadir consoled me. She said, there are so many things, one lost, there are so many things ahead of you in life. Yeah? And another time, Mrs. Eva Matthew called me to her office. And I was very scared. So I said, stern, she had a stern Marina. So she would sit down. Do you have time to look out the window and dream? She asked me. I didn't understand what that question meant. Do you have time to dream? So I looked out and said, is that important, ma'am? I said, yes, young women like you must have the time to dream. My parents were strict parents, right? 5 a.m. wake up, whatever exercise, yoga, like our day was packed. And we had to do well in academics, we had to do well in sports, we had to do well in our cultural activities. So in a sense, there was no time. And of course, we had to develop our memories by long, shloka recitations. So I didn't understand what Miss Matthew said, do you have time to dream? So I left that meeting in her office and went to Mrs. Kadir. And she said, what happened? You were going to the principal's office? No, she's asked me, do you have time to dream? She said, you should have said, English class is the time to dream. That is the time to dream of all the possibilities, Romeo and Juliet, of who you're going to meet, who's the Romeo of your life, and everything else. And Ophelia, if you want, plotting somebody else's revenge. So that is the time to dream. I remember that so clearly, that she was for me in college my second mother. So somebody I could actually go to and talk to, which is not very common for my generation, because we grew up with a lot of, like, our teachers, we had, there was a kind of a wall, it's an invisible wall, but it was there. There was, and yes, I want to wind up because I haven't done it for so long. Thank you so much, and it's a great honor. Thank you, Naseem, for asking me. There's so much to share, but I'm very moved. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita Ratnam. Thank you very much. I have promised my fraternity teachers I will finish it up at 4:30. Yes, I will finish it up at 4:30. So,
15 minutes?
15 minutes to extend? Okay, right. But whoever speaks, please take 2 minutes. Because, yes.
Yeah, I want somebody from our family to say a few words. And we have my cousin brother here, Salim Ali, Dr. Salim Ali. Yes, just to introduce him, he's been an IPS officer, various cadres from BIG to IG to special officer, CBI, on the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case, etc., etc. Not going to say much more, but he was a favorite of my mother. Especially when he used to come in his uniform with the black cat commandos by him. Right? So he had to walk around with black cat commandos. So Mani used to feel a great sense of pride. I don't know why, but yes, she did. So just a few words, Salim, from your end, from the family end here.
Thank you, Naseem. Her actual name is Papa, we call her Papa. It's indeed a great pleasure to be with you all today. When I entered inside this hall, I thought I entered inside a classroom. The way you people were talking to each other, you all sounded like classroom. It's wonderful to see the vibe and the energy that's all very nice. No doubt my aunt is part of this fraternity. And she has played a very, very important role in my life also. I'm an IPS officer. To be frank, is because of her. I'll tell you two or three things which she did with me. So I used to come from Madurai for the exam. Initially it was a normal exam where I tried essay exam and all that. So I used to sit and read, and she used to come and sit with me and ask me what are you trying to do and how. And she saw my handwriting. She said, your handwriting is very bad. It's not going to help you. But I'll give you a solution for that. Whenever you write an answer for a big essay, first write the answer plan and go by the answer plan and put the heading of the answer plan in each paragraph you write. By that, the person who is evaluating the paper, even though handwriting is bad, he will understand what you are writing. And he will give you better marks than the other person who has better handwriting. Very frank, I followed it, and I got maximum marks in my essay exam. That's the fact. And then, whenever I used to come to Chennai from Madurai to Chennai for the exam, I used to stay with them only. And both uncle and aunt used to come and talk to me and help me, encourage me. I want you to see her all in your service. Then my interview came. So for going to interview, I had to go back and Chennai. Interview at that time, this all India service exam was all self-learning. There were no coaching classes, no classes, nothing of that. So we did our own. So before going for the interview, my aunt called me and told me, look, when you go to the interview, don't bluff. If you don't know anything, say I don't know. Be frank, be your normal self. Don't show off, don't show off knowledge, nothing. Just be a normal self. Do the interview well. I followed her guidance and I got some 72% in my exam because of her guidance. And because of that only I got selected. So my credit for me becoming IPS officer goes to my aunt. Help me around. That's That's what I want to share with you all. She had created an Ethiraj.
We have more alumni, we give it a break, we go into fraternity, we come back to the alumni and students again.
Thank you, Dr. Salim. Thank you very much. Please, dear teachers, stay 2 minutes. I'll call Principal and Secretary Dr. Margaret to release today to us.
Esteemed Chairman of Ethiraj College Trust and our former principals, Dr. Yashoda ma'am, Dr. Nirmala ma'am, and all the former professors who are the heads professors had retired from our esteemed institution, and the family of Mrs. Qadir ma'am. I think it is my privilege to be a part of this program today, though I was not aware of ma'am, but I had read in the magazine. I had also come through the stories of her in many of the articles, and I think recently now, I think the family members, the daughters, the delicate daughters, they had given all the information about her mom, and I think it is a very proud moment for them as well as for us for having this centenary celebration in our institution and knowing about her so well. I think many of the legacies which has been initiated by her, still we are all like taking up, and I think it is going for greater heights, especially the sports. I'm also very happy that I'm a part of, I was also a sportswoman when I studied, and even here I have it is very much close to my heart, and I think I became the principal, and after that I make it always the sports meet happens only in Rajaratnam Stadium, which gives very comfortable for all the students and for all the sports meet. So I think I can be assuring that all the legacies, whatever has been like initiated in those years, we still try to maintain, and also you can find the campus also turning into maybe I can say state of the art with the support from our management in every part of it. Our college is going ahead. Not only in academics, extension and research, I think now we are also going globally with the Center for International Relations, Center for Incubation, and we have to compete with all other city colleges. So with the blessings of all the former professors, the fraternity members, and with the support of the existing faculty members and the students' parents and our supportive management with the guidance, I'm sure that the legacy will be always like taken ahead and taken up. So thank you for the opportunity, and to Dr. Gauhar John ma'am, when she approached, and I said like this is one of the very privileged and proud moment that we can have in our campus, and immediately only the dates were like fixed later on, and I think the day had come and we had witnessed the program, and I'm sure this has to be taken to the entire college. Maybe we can take it through the social media. I'm very happy to say that recently we have got the social media for the past 1 year in Insta, Facebook, Twitter and LinkedIn. So I think a report, we can give the story so that many of the alumni and many of the students of Madam will be also witnessing the program, and it will reach many more through the social media. So that's my humble request to ma'am, so that you can give us the details, and we will also take it through the social media, and it will reach many of her students as well as the Ethirajians. So thank you for the opportunity, and thanks to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Margaret. Short and sweet. Short and sweet. During Qadir ma'am's period, Sadhaka's period, the strength of the college, the strength of the college is nearly the strength of the college is nearly 1,000. Today, the strength of the college has gone up 8,000, more than 8,000. So, at that time, Madam was able to have the personal touch with each and everyone. Today, it is not possible. Therefore, anyway, through media, as Mahavi said, we will meet. Now, I ask Savita to come and say a few words. You want to speak? Okay. Dr. Sujata Balakrishnan.
Is just going to set up, Chairman.
Want to say a few? Want to felicitate? Please.
Ma'am.
I feel very blessed to be a part of this. I feel very blessed to be a part of this birth centenary celebration to remember and honor. Yeah, we gathered here to remember and honor Mrs. Qadir. She represents a centenary with wisdom, courage, and life that shaped many others, including mine. In those days, actually, we had to, we were thinking about two things: whether to have a career, and also what the career should be. Both those very important decisions of my life were taken by Mrs. Qadir, because she just one day told me, "Don't waste your time, come and teach here." That's so the decision was made by her. I call her auntie sometimes and ma'am sometimes, auntie because Tasin is a very dear friend of mine. At that time when guidance was very rare and invaluable, she stepped into my life and she's really changed the course of my life, because I had no idea I wanted to be a teacher. And so thanks to her. Her belief in education and in young women was not just in words, but by the way she lived her life and she raised her family. She was someone I deeply respected and who welcomed me with warmth and laughter. Her fun-loving, hospitable nature made her instantly approachable, and she always made me feel at ease. She gave freely of her time, her guidance, and her affection. The confidence she has placed in me has stayed with me for very long, and her influence continues to shape the person I am. Though she is no longer with us, her legacy lives on in the life she guided, the choices she helped shape, and the love she shared so spontaneously and naturally. Today, I remember Auntie with great gratitude, affection, and respect. Thank you, Auntie, for all that you do.
Thank you, Sujata. Thank you. Savita, you want to say a few words? You reminded of. Okay, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. It's really an honor to be here today. And to me, Mrs. Qadir is auntie because she's Tasin's mom. And we were all classmates, and all I remember of her is my fair lady who walked around with a head high and with a lovely smile on her face, and so kind to everybody. And you never felt that you were meeting a teacher, you were meeting somebody who was more like a mentor to you. That was what she was. And I should mention that I can never forget her biryanis and her chicken gravies and all. I think as classmates of Tasin, we've been We've been running around in the college, hiding behind the auditorium and getting scolded by both the Mrs. Sheila and Leela sitting over here. But anyway, it's a nice opportunity. Thank you so much. There's much more to talk about it, but for want of time and scared of our Miss John over here, I will stop right now.
Thank you, Savita. When I see Savita, I remembered of the olden days where we used to play tennis and shuttle and throw ball. We are all very good players, myself, Savita and all. We used to enjoy those days. Thank you, Savita.
She called me when I was posted as an assistant collector training in Kanchipuram, from all those days. There's no direct STD. And wished me. I don't think even Dasan was there. And from where she got the number, she called me and then there was some call. Madam, you're getting call from Mrs. Qadir. Mrs. Qadir is calling me.
To congratulate you.
Yeah, this is congratulating.
Very good. When you say this, I recall only one incident. I will not take much time. Myself and Sheila ma'am visited Mrs. Nurjehan Qadir once to see her. And she was telling Gauhar, bite jao, Gauhar khalo, Gauhar drink this tea. She completely forgot about Sheila ma'am. Sheila ma'am is the senior most and she is her contemporary. She felt a little bit sad at that time. She would have forgotten. Okay.
You are upset and asked I did.
Now I'll call Dr. Chitra Venki to say a few words. Let's get ready, Dr. Nirmala. We are not going to waste the time. After Chitra.
Good afternoon to all my beloved principals, Dr. Yashoda ma'am, Dr. Tavani ma'am, and to all my dear faculty members, my friends, my classmates, and to the entire college fraternity. I just wrote down a small note. Let me read it out. I stand before you feeling very grateful and very humbled and very nostalgic. Thank you, dear Tasin and Tasneem, for giving me this opportunity. Today, we do not merely celebrate 100 years of Mrs. Qadir's life. We celebrate 100 years of light that match up to her elegance but then we're trying. In her classroom, Shakespeare was never distant or difficult. She made the lessons come alive. Through her literature became a mirror, and language became a way of understanding ourselves. She taught us clarity of thought, sensitivity of feeling, and the courage to find our own voice in the world. Long after the classrooms emptied and examinations faded into memory, her lessons stayed with us, echoing in the way we choose our words, the way we listen, and the way we engage with life with empathy and with profound love. Every student she taught, every mind she shaped, every heart she influenced became the opening act of something greater. She was a mother and teacher to me and to all of us. We drenched in her love and we grew. She also gave us her lovely daughters, Tasin and Tasneem, Kutti to us, to care for us and nurture us just as she did, with the same warmth, grace, and wisdom that we associate with Mrs. Qadir ma'am. Love you, Tasin and Tasneem. Through them, we can see how her influence and inspiration flows effortlessly from classroom to home, from generation to generation, from teaching into life itself. At 100, Qadir ma'am stands not as a chapter completed, but as a living classic, read by generations, cherished by all, and forever relevant. With deep gratitude, abundant affection, and profound respect, I stand here to honor a wonderful teacher who taught me Shakespeare and other aspects of literature to remember for a lifetime. But most importantly, taught me and my dearest friends unconditional love, empathy, beauty, and humanity. We salute her spirit and bow to her gracious soul. Thank you.
Thank you, Chitra.
Thank you, ma'am.
Nirmala, Dr. Nirmala. Good afternoon, dear teachers and friends. I know her as a teacher, and all of you know her as someone who could give a fresh lease of life to literature by inspiring the students to engage with it with love and joy. But I always remember her as my second mother, and I cherish that memory with gratitude. I entered the Ethiraj College campus as a motherless teenager groping in the darkness. But I had the fortune and privilege to have Mrs. Qadir as my mentor, and that made all the difference. We used to have regular ward meetings, and that was the first ward meeting, and we were asked to talk about ourselves with a thrust on our strengths. All of them were saying, explaining in their style, of course, with the aim of focusing on their strengths. My turn came. I was sitting there, teary eyed, lost in my own world. In fact, the certificates, the degrees, the recognition, the reward I have got while I was studying in different schools didn't make any meaning to me in a world without my mother. I just wanted my mother to come back. And then my turn came, and Mrs. Qadir just touched me, and she said, "Here is my daughter, who is a Tamil orator, who is going to excel in English very soon." And something struck my soul then. I just looked at her, the genial smile on a pretty face. I don't know what happened at that moment. I narrated and told my story in my own style. And I was looking forward to such sessions with some kind of a hope and light. And then suddenly I realized after a few sessions what was happening there. It was a transformative shift. In fact, she was creating, it was not just a sentimental stuff calling me daughter, etc. But she was actually creating a personal bond with the students, knowing their vibes so well and investing the time and energy on that. The transformative shift I was talking about is from being a helpless victim of circumstances, turned into someone who was self-reliant, capable of building up the skills and do make some difference in life. When I look back, I remember two incidents after that. One, she came, I got married while I was a first MA student. She came and told my husband and the family in her inimitable style, "அவளுக்கு அம்மா இல்லைன்னு நினச்சிக்காதுங்கோ. I am there for her." I don't know whether all of you can connect with that situation, but as a motherless girl, her words, what value she would have added, I could realize it. Even today, my husband and the family people used to talk about her. The next time when I met her, I went with my PhD degree in hand while I was 34. And then she said, "I have a dream for you." And I'm so happy that with God's grace, I fulfill her dream. Today, I recall her memory with immense gratitude, joy, and love. I'm only one of her students. There may be decades of stories and thousands of students who have such stories to narrate, but they may not be here. So on behalf of all her students, I once again pray to her, seeking her blessings for all. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nirmala. Thank you, Nirmala, very much. I call Vasudha Srinivasan ma'am to read the message of Dr. Saraswati.
Mrs. Nurjehan Abdul Qadir, affectionately known as Mrs. Qadir, was phenomenal in our department. A popular teacher, she held her students spellbound with her scholarship and dramatic talent. Laugh and the world laughs with you was her message. There was never a dull moment. Her spontaneous jokes kept us roaring. Her mimicry added spice to what she said. She was a popular teacher due to her scholarship as well as her love for students. Her wonderful command over English was amazing. Her staff entertainment programs for students' farewell parties were highly imaginative. Once she presented a kacheri with herself as Bhagavatat, and others played violin, mridangam, ghatam, etc. The best part was that it was a dumb show. No violence, no guttum, but fabulous mimicry. Last but not least is her passionate love for Ethiraj College. After retirement, she thought of a super idea of the Ethiraj fraternity, which enabled all of us to return to our beloved alma mater and enjoy the company of old friends. Thanks to her vision, the dynamic presidentship of Dr. Mrs. Yashoda and untiring guidance of dear Gauhajan, the fraternity is growing from strength to strength. This is a feather in our cap, as no other college has ever thought of. Thanks to our dear chairman's blessings, we shall reach greater heights. Thank you, dear Tasin and Tasneem. This is a small note from me. The centenary celebration of Mrs. Qadir. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I stand here on Ethiraj College for Women premises to express my immense gratitude to God for sending to our college and Department of English a unique personality like Mrs. Qadir, Nurjehan, the light of the world, the light of Ethiraj College, former professor of English and former principal. She had been a guiding force and an affectionate friend for thousands of students. She has been a jolly good fellow of the staff and students because of her wit and humor, almost acting out her Shakespearean characters like Puck and Ariel and Falstaff, and many more inside and outside the classes. Other characters' mimicry, humorously mischievous. If I am standing here today in this auditorium, it is because of a unique vision of creating a club association for retired teachers of Ethiraj College across departments, which stands as a testimony to her love of humanity, friendship, and camaraderie. She has left indelible imprints on the sands of time, no doubt, but more in the hearts of Ethirajian staff, which will continue, I hope, as long as the Ethiraj College exists. I wish to thank her darling daughters, Tasin and Tasneem, for having decided to celebrate her centenary in Ethiraj College premises. And remember with pleasure the periodical get-togethers that we have had organized by our fraternity, and also for the various happiness that has been imparted through our associations for more than 3 decades. Thank you.
Thank you, Vasanta ma'am. Thank you very much for your message and also the message of Dr. Saraswati ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Now I'll call upon Padmavati Srinivasan ma'am to read the message of Mrs. Hussain.
This message is from Mrs. Hussain, former head of the Department of Physics. My scholar friend Nurjehan was dear to both young and not so young Amazing indeed was her encyclopedic range of mind and her fund of knowledge, which filled us with wonder. Generations of students were spellbound when she taught them Shakespeare's plays, quoting profusely and creating before them the lifelike portraits of the playwright's creations. My friend had a large heart and hastened to wipe the tears of the needy. She patiently listened to the sad story of many a friend and student and provided a soothing balm to the mentally agitated person. The fraternity club was her brainchild and today is the pride of the college. Nurjehan and myself had been in the committee of MWA after we retired. She mesmerized all with her sparkling wit and sunshiny humor. Royal in bearing but simple in attire, she moved along gracefully. I miss her and the picture of my beloved friend imprinted in my mind, with which will never be erased. This is from Mrs. Hussain. And I would like to say that Mrs. Qadir is synonymous with life and laughter. I'm always reminded of Tennyson's quote, she drinks the cup of life to the lees, and she spreads the laughter wherever she is. And we feel we should carry it forward. Thank you.
Yes. Now I call Anita Charge first and then Vidya. Anita, I think you will take 2 minutes or 1.5 minutes.
So I try to keep it as short as possible. I belong to the batch of 1984, so when we joined in 1981, ma'am was the head of the department, and after my first year, she became the principal. So we didn't have the opportunity to have her teaching any particular paper for us. She used to walk into class whenever it's possible, when a professor is absent. And whenever she came into class, it was such fun because she would just encourage us to get into discussions, debates. She was always, I mean, she made us speak not out of compulsion, but she created this atmosphere where we could just get there and talk because we wanted to talk. That's the person she was. And one thing that we remember, and I'm speaking on behalf of my batch, whom I'm in touch with, Romeo and Juliet was handled by her many a times. And, her voice would ooze with romance. And those days, romance is something that was considered taboo. And she's the one who kind of exposed us to, there's nothing taboo about it, just get there and enjoy it. And we would all giggle, and she would look at us very placidly and continue with her drama, the drama that everybody's talking about. She was just fantastic, having her there in front of us, enacting Romeo and Juliet is a very strong memory with me. Another thing that I would like to mention is when we got into university, she had this mentor ward system, which somebody else also spoke about. And that was a fantastic system. And many of us who are educators today try to implement it in schools as well. And it worked really, really well. She was, another thing that I have to speak on behalf of all my professors sitting here, 10 out of that batch became educators. That speaks volumes of what you left in us. Thank you so much on behalf of my entire batch who I'm in touch with. I'm keeping it as short as possible. There are volumes that we can all speak about her, but regarding the time, we need to keep that in mind. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, Tasneem and Tasin. They are as close to me as Mrs. Qadir is. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you very much. I call Vidya Arjun. She is the daughter of Mrs. Arjun, English department. and she used to write lot of poems, and it will be circulated through Sita Udpa ma'am. So I used to read a lot of her poems to you.
I just wrote a few lines about ma'am. I'd like to read it to you. The year 1949 saw a breath of fresh air breeze into the English department of the beloved Ethiraj College. What, you may well ask, what or who was that? It was a beautiful young lady, regal in her bearing, fair and lovely, if you please, slated to take the college by storm. In her vivacious way, rising from lecturer to professor to finally reach the highest post as the principal of the esteemed Ethiraj College was no mean task. All the while enjoying the role of mentor, colleague, friend, bringing laughter and joy, music and dance to an otherwise quiet department. Um, Roping in the professors, I think I missed the thing. Just one second. Yeah. It's in my phone. All the while enjoying the role of mentor, colleague, friend, bringing laughter and joy, music and dance to an otherwise quiet department. Roping in the professors, guffaws and giggles were heard behind the closed doors of the English department. No stiff upper lip here, if you please. On her supportive side, she listened with concern to grief and sorrows of personal problems, empathy and understanding, formed deep friendships that lasted a lifetime. Her classes were hilarious. Hamlet and Lear took on different colors, making it easy to learn and understand in a much lighter vein, definitely surprising Shakespeare too. Raising the institution to greater heights during her regime, conducting sports day in the coveted Rajaratnam Stadium was a feather in her cap. Educating was her purpose, as schools stood testimony to her administrations. And when her tenure was done and retirement took over, she still decided to keep the flame alive, forming a fraternity club where retired staff met and kept in touch, reliving the past, nostalgia and companionship walking hand in hand, doing wonders for the soul. As illness overtook age and she still smiled, and when the final curtain came down, the college mourned, for she was much loved and respected. Celebrating her 100th year, we look back at her tenure with pleasure, for she left behind smiles, not tears. To her children, Tasin and Tasneem, she had handed them her legacy of being happy no matter what. And we can see that that joy has brought them here to celebrate the life of our dear Mrs. Nurjehan Abdul Qadir at our good old alma mater, to celebrate the life of a much loved teacher, friend, and possibly a tongue-in-cheek philosopher. Dear ma'am, thank you for bringing fun and laughter to our learning years, teaching us to smile even when things got tough. As a very dear friend to my mother, Vimla Arjun, you and your family were family. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, respected Madam
Dr. Yashoda Shanmavasundram, friends, beloved Tahsin and Tasneem, I'm very grateful that I'm here. I have one privilege which none of you have here. I belong to the first batch of MA student, Madam Mrs. Qadir handled, and there's no one around, the rest are all, the 9 of them, I don't know where they are. And we had the unique privilege of having our classes. Mrs. Qadir made the open air theatre, the Globe Theatre in London, as I told you. And we had our classes in the green room. One was the storeroom and one was near the street. Mrs. Qadir used to take classes for us. I'm an only child. My only friends were books. Shakespeare Lamb, Shakespeare PU, Shakespeare BA, Shakespeare finally MA. They were books. But when I came to MA, Shakespeare, Mrs. Qadir became Shakespeare. I saw Shakespeare in him. I'm very, very grateful. And one thing more, outside the class, she was not a pedagogue. She was motherly, that everybody knows. And even my children have benefited by her maternal kindness. I have nothing more to say. There is so much I cannot express now. And one advantage of being the last speaker is everybody has said everything you wanted to say, and you really have nothing to say because they've said it. I'm very grateful. I have much more to say. Only thing I want to say is that whatever I felt, I condensed it, micro-condensed it into the Ethiraj fraternity. I forwarded it from what I had sent to Dasan. Thank you very much. I'm grateful to Madam Qadir.
After hearing the name of Shakespeare several times, it has shook me. I will go and read who is that Shakespeare. and I will come to know who is that Shakespeare. Thank you. Tasin will read the messages of 2 teachers.
Yes, the first message is from Mrs. Sita Udappa. Actually, she's the one who mooted this all and, got Tasneem and me into the whole thing of connecting with Gauhar ma'am, with Yashoda ma'am, and to get this thing going. So her message reads, the multifaceted and dynamic Mrs. Qadir, head Department of English, who later became the principal of the famed Ethiraj College for Women, adorned whatever she touched. She had mighty dreams and glorious aspirations and the zeal and determination to transform stadium with electrifying pomp and splendor. A linguist with an amazing mastery over English, Hindi, Urdu, Tamil, Malayalam, and other languages, she put to shame the native speakers. Puck in her was ever vibrant, and wit and humor met and mingled in her. How the students giggled their hearts out as they witnessed the humorous enactment of Ali Baba and 40 Thieves on stage. Mrs. George as Ali Baba, Mrs. Qadir as his wife, sitting on stage with one leg stretched out, making chapatis, and members of the department as thieves. Mrs. Qadir was benevolent and compassionate, and her heart melted with pity at the sight of the downtrodden. What Goldsmith said of his preacher was true of our beloved madam. She watched, wept, and prayed for all. Shakespeare watched from above with joy and pride, Mrs. Qadir teaching his plays and mesmerizing students with her lifelike portraits of his characters. We in the department have spent many hours of companionship with her, and the picture etched in our minds can never be erased. That's from Mrs. Sita Udappa. And we have Mrs. Lionel, who also could not be here. Mrs. Shita Lionel. How can I forget Mrs. Qadir with her inimitable humor that delighted all of us? She would often make all of us laugh in the department with her interesting jokes, and she never spared anyone. She was an excellent teacher with a very good command over English.
Mrs. Khadar was an able administrator with a kind heart, ready to offer help. The Ethiraj fraternity was a brainchild, ably assisted by Mrs. Vasanthi. In conclusion, I wish to say in the words of Shakespeare, age cannot wither her, nor custom stale her infinite variety. Wishing Tasin and Tasneem the best always. Thank you, Mrs. Lionel.
We have the vote of thanks from Tasneem, and later we will have photo. And I think Tasneem's son has come, Feroz. Come and stand here, Feroz. Let me introduce Feroz. He's Tasneem's son, Feroz. So please, vote of thanks. And then we will have.
We have here, somehow, using the help of Mrs. Nirmala here, I managed to locate an Aya who was there in the English department. Aya Lud Mary, okay, who was, I managed to trace her down and ask her to come for this event where she could pay. And also Mrs. Malika, she's also here. I thought she came. Did she come? She came in, yeah, from the office staff, from the office. So I managed to locate her as well because she was here and, very, very fond of. Idanalu solnuma, Mary Aya? Thank you. Thank you, Ayama. Thank you.
Come on, Tasneem.
Good evening. Can you hear me? All my professors are here. Oh, I see that group. Still the same. But today I get the opportunity of telling you all, listen to me. You all used to say, you listen. Now I could do the opposite. What? Mike. Okay, this is the mic guy. Okay, now. Okay, so I get the opportunity today. You'll have to listen to my speech. I have 3 minutes. At the onset, I confessed I'm not a good speaker like my mother was or my sister is. And so kindly bear with me as I read out my vote of thanks. Esteemed Chairman, he had to leave early, Mr. Muralidharan Sir, a gentleman to the core, quiet and unassuming Dr. Yashoda Shanmugasundaram Ma'am, President of the Fraternity Club and our mother's brainchild. We love you a lot, ma'am. Principal and Secretary of Ethiraj College for Women, Dr. Uma Gauri. Members of the Fraternity Club, esteemed guests, friends and family. Today, as we walk upon a soil that we literally opened our eyes to, we thank our esteemed visionary founder, Sri V.L. Ethiraj,
Okay, so she has been a pillar of strength to us. Thank you so much. Mom has kept all her promises, covered all miles. Now she sleeps happy and contented. She played to perfection many roles: loving and understanding mother, a kind, compassionate friend and teacher, an excellent administrator who loved our college and working towards its glory. She will be watching us proudly from above. Our heartfelt thanks to all for making this such a memorable day for us to create new memories. Thank you, my professors. We love you. We are standing here because of you guys. Sorry. You are staff, our teachers. We are standing here because of you all. Thank you so much.
Now we will have a group photo. Just please come closer. Parvati ma'am, இப்பதான் பார்க்கிறேன் வாங்க.